we were up in Ahmed, and there was like a patch of garbage that I just basically swam through, and it didn't feel good. And I was just like, oh my God, what did I just swim through? It's like gross.
This is Worldschooling Q&A. I'm Astrid, creator of The Wandering Daughter. As a traveling family, we've spent 4 years traveling full-time to over 18 countries and 6 continents. Wherever we go, we try to learn as much as we can about the countries and cultures we visit. While we didn't coin the term, we like to call this worldschooling, using the world as our classroom. Each week, my husband Clint and I will answer one question about worldschooling and share our experiences of traveling the world with our kids. Ready to get started? Great! Let's dive in.
So today's question is, what are some sustainable products we can travel with?
Yeah, I guess let's start with what does sustainable travel products mean to us, and why do we want to have sustainable travel products?
Yeah. So first I'll go into why. I think especially during our travels. So for those of you who don't know, we traveled full time from 2018 to 2022 and visited a bunch of countries. And I remember keenly snorkeling in Indonesia, and gorgeous place to snorkel. We were up in Ed, and there was like a patch of garbage that I just basically swam through, and it didn't feel good. And I was just like, oh my God, what did I just swim through? It's like gross. And it really made me think about like the amount of waste that we create with just plastic, but also just, disposable items, things that just we use once and we throw away. So that is what guides me in choosing like the products that we travel with, is making sure that us as travelers, we're not contributing to this like exponentially growing amount of garbage that we humans produce every day.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we saw this recently in the last few years. I think we were traveling.
Yeah.
A big media story about recycling and how recycling is changing in the US, or meaning like China usually took a lot of recycling, and now that's not the case. They're kind of rejecting a lot of that. A lot of that ends up in Indonesia, for example. And so we're obviously based in the United States, so that's where we're speaking from. But we kind of have this like out of sight, out of mind mentality, meaning that, we put our recycling in recycling bins, and it goes off to a waste treatment center, right? Yeah. And we put our trash in the trash can, and it goes off to a waste center. And then after that, we're kind of like, all right, cool. We did our part and it's gone. Yeah. And what's fascinating is when we were traveling, that ends up somewhere though.
Well, what I didn't realize was that a lot of countries outsource their recycling to other countries. And that's where because it's cheaper to do. And in some cases, those other countries don't have the adequate facilities to process all the amounts of recycling that they receive. And so then they're like, well, I guess we'll just burn it, or we'll just throw it away, put it in the garbage. So that good deed that you think that you're doing, recycling and putting your plastics in the recycling bin, it isn't necessarily helpful.
So a lot of the sustainable practices that we gained while we were traveling, we've brought them back as we've come back to the United States, and we do a lot of those still now.
Yeah.
And just the biggest one, and this will be the theme as we go through this stuff, is like the reduction of single-use plastic. I think is probably the biggest one. So
but then the other things too is like, choosing things that are made with like repurposed materials or recycled materials, like choosing things that will be long lasting as well, so that you can use it multiple times and it's not going to be like, I only use it for a year and now I'm going to throw it away. So or in some cases, my daughter and I, we really like to thrift. So buying things that are previously owned so that you're saving it from the garbage bin, essentially.
Yeah, those are great. Yeah, great options. So having said that, what are some things that we travel with or have adopted as sustainable travel products?
One thing that I like is, and we say this in other episodes too, is packing cubes.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily think of them as like a sustainable travel product, but the particular brand of packing cubes that we love is Cotopaxi. And we like them because they use like repurposed materials to make their packing cubes. So then it feels more sustainable for us.
Yeah. And they're also cute as heck. They're like great
Yeah.
colors and they're just vibrant and awesome logo. Yeah. So it's good company overall.
What about you?
I think the one thing I've always had an issue with Ziploc bags. They've annoyed me. Even when we were using Ziploc bags, I was always that person washing Ziploc bags to reuse Ziploc bags. I just always have hated throwing them away, even just a little. So we use Stashers a lot. Stashers, if you don't know, and that's the main brand. I think there's other brands of these now, but Stashers are essentially silicone-based food. They're Ziploc bags. They're basically silicone-based Ziploc bags, and we've also used like biodegradable Ziploc bags in the past, and those are okay for like one-time use, but it's still trash. It still goes in the trash. So we really like these Stashers.
Yeah, and they're like microwavable. I like making popcorn with them.
Yeah, awesome.
On the topic of food, something that we found wasteful during our travels was like, you eat a meal, then okay, let's just wrap it in some plastic wrap and then put it in the fridge. But we had to go and buy like plastic wrap at the store and then put it in there in the Airbnb. So we started traveling with beeswax wraps, and they serve the same purpose where you just cover, if your kid doesn't eat all their dinner, or you have some leftovers, you put it on a plate, cover it up with some beeswax wraps, and then put it in the fridge. So that's nice. And they fold up very small, so we usually just travel with those as well.
Yeah, those are awesome. I think another thing that we kind of food related that we travel with all the time is metal straws.
Yes.
There's also, there's bamboo straws, metal straws, silicone straws. I think the reason we like the metal ones is they're easier to keep clean.
Yeah.
I think the bamboo ones sometimes are notorious for maybe mold.
Yeah.
And the silicone ones are kind of get a little grimy.
Yeah.
So we like them. We like the metal ones. Yeah.
And that way, if you keep it in your purse, like they'll usually come with like a little holder or something like that. And then at a restaurant, you don't have to use their straws. You can use your own and then wash it later.
Yeah.
What about like when it comes to household stuff?
Yeah, there's a couple things I'll mention on the kind of personal hygiene side. So we use bar shampoo instead of bottled shampoo. That's largely so that we can take them place to place, that lasts longer. There's no single-use plastic involved in that. That's been great. We've really enjoyed traveling with bar shampoo, and they do bar shampoo and bar conditioner. And a lot of times we don't really even need bar soap necessarily. We can use that. And then the other one is toothpaste tabs. Yeah. We've switched the toothpaste tabs. They do now have toothpaste tabs with fluoride if you are a fluoride family. So I know when they first came out, there was no fluoride in the toothpaste tabs, but toothpaste tabs are great. We usually just throw them in a little glass jar that we have and take those wherever we go. We don't have to worry about toothpaste getting everywhere, the tubes having to throw it away. The only problem with toothpaste tabs is so far, I think only Canada and US is where we've been able to find them.
That's true.
So we generally that's one of the things we have to kind of stock up on a bit before we go on long trips. What are some other household things?
Laundry detergent sheets are helpful. We found ourselves like buying big bottles of laundry detergent in every new city. And then we wouldn't go through the whole thing by the time we left. And then we're like, oh, I guess we're just going to have to leave this here. So it just felt wasteful for us. So we started traveling with detergent sheets, and they come in like small, smooth, flat envelopes essentially. Yeah. And then you can just like tear off what you need and use that.
They are, if you are an avid plastic person though, anti-plastic person though, the sheets do have some plastic,
Like little microplastics.
yeah, microplastics in them. So at home now we actually use a completely non-plastic powder, but when we travel, we're probably going to go back to the sheets just because they're really easy to travel with. Powder is still hard to travel because you have to have it in a jar. You run out of it quickly. So we'll probably still travel with the laundry sheets.
The other thing I like is bringing a Grail bottle with us. So Grails are Grayl. They're like water bottles with built-in filters. And so that can help with filtering out your water in places where the water may not be safe to drink. But then it reduces your reliance on like having to buy bottled water. So that to me is like more sustainable as well.
Yeah. One more on the laundry. We carry laundry balls. If if you don't know what those are, they're wool balls that basically if you're doing a dryer. Now, having said that, most of the world doesn't, or not most of the world, a lot of the world does not have dryers. So the laundry balls might not be used, but they're great for juggling if they're into that. But the other thing is
massage balls.
We carry a clothesline. So it's a little, and they actually make some really cool collapsible clotheslines now to do hanging if there's no dryer. Or in like the UK and Europe, they have these combo washer dryer things. They have never worked well for us. They do well washing, like Japan has it too.
Yeah.
Never drying. We can never dry clothes in them. Grocery store, what a couple things?
Oh yeah. So if you're going to the grocery store, again, there's, when you're getting your produce, you put them in the little plastic baggies, and then what do you do with them? You throw them away. So you can buy mesh produce bags, and they come in, like packs of 5 or 10, and they're very light and probably weigh the same amount as the plastic bags. And so that's what we use. And then we also do tote bags too. And there's some great ones that just like fold up.
Yeah. The hilarious thing about the produce bags, we love them. In many parts of the world where you have to like get your produce and then take it to a counter where they weigh it and then they tag it before you take to the checkout stand. Those tags don't stick.
Yeah.
So sometimes they get annoying.
I'm just going to put it here, put it on my hand.
Whatever. It works. Cool. I think that covers it.
Yeah. I write about a lot of these products that I mentioned on my website. I have an article, the best eco-friendly travel products to travel with. So feel free to check that out if you want to learn more about the products that we mentioned in this episode.
Yeah. Good.
Well, that's all for today. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Worldschooling Q&A with Astrid and Clint. Be sure to check out the show notes for any links we mentioned in the episode, and visit my website, thewanderingdaughter.com, to dive deeper into worldschooling and family travel.
If you like what you hear, please consider supporting The Wandering Daughter on Patreon. It really helps us out and keeps the show going. You'll also get exclusive perks like episode transcripts, additional resources, access to office hours with us, and more. You can find us on Spotify or the podcast app of your choice. If you're listening to this on Spotify, you can tap the bell icon to get notified when new episodes come out. And if you like this episode, please give us a 5-star review. It really helps new people find our show.
If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe and tap the bell icon to get notified of new episodes. You can follow me on Instagram @WanderDaughter or follow The Wandering Daughter on Facebook. Links to these are also in the show notes. If you have any worldschooling questions you'd like us to answer for future episodes, feel free to throw them in the comments or send us a message at thewanderingdaughter.com/podcast. Until next time, happy travels!
Bye!